This is the Redmi 10 and it's the brand's latest budget smartphone, and priced at just 649 ringgit, it actually packs quite a lot. Now, I know some of you are tempted to comment saying that 649 isn't technically a budget phone, it should be a lower end mid-ranger. Budget phones should be about 500 ringgit, blah blah blah. No, just stop. Even Xiaomi calls this an entry-level phone, so we're gonna stick with that. Moving on, I've been using this phone for about a week now and it's pretty decent, but it's, there's a catch. So in this review, I'm gonna tell you all about the phone and maybe see if it's for you and explain why I say there's a catch. Let's go. Before we get started, here's a quick word about good deals by KLGG, our official e-store. You can buy all sorts of awesome gadgets here at great prices, and you can even get 10 ringgit off on your first purchase with a minimum spend of 100 ringgit. You can also pay via 3-month 0% installments using IOU Pay or Atom. Visit the link in the description box below to start shopping. This is one of the Redmi 10's biggest points. The phone is one of the more premium looking smartphones in this price range. The back panel is matte and a little shiny. This is the pebble white version, and the good thing is it does away with the trendy, shimmering, iridescent effects, which I think is a good thing. I am, after all, a minimalist. The phone is on the thicker side, but it only weighs 181 grams, so it's not too heavy. This will fit nicely in your pockets and your car phone holders. Moving on, also another plus point is the panel quality. This is a Full HD Plus IPS panel that pushes a 90Hz refresh rate. You get vibrant colors and peak brightness is actually not bad. However, out of the box, the temperature leans towards the warmer side, but you can always change this in the settings. I also want to note that the phone uses Corning Gorilla Glass 3 to protect the panel. The phone packs a pair of stereo speakers and they sound surprisingly good. They're loud, punchy and have decent balance. However, I think the bass needs to be a little bit more present, but overall it sounds really great. So combined with a decent panel quality, this phone is actually a decent budget option if all you're really looking for is something to watch YouTube and Netflix with. Under the hood, you have a MediaTek Helio G88, which is a small upgrade over the G85. In terms of performance, it's got 9118 on PC Mark, and 367 points on single-core performance with Geekbench, and 1136 points in multi-core performance. When it comes to gaming, Call of Duty runs okay at medium graphics and high refresh rate settings. There is stuttering during heavy gunfights. On PUBG, you can play at HD graphics and high refresh rate settings. You'll also experience a little bit of stuttering, but nothing too disruptive to the gameplay. When it comes to imaging, you get a 50 megapixel main lens along with an 8 megapixel ultra-wide shooter, a 2 megapixel macro lens and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. As usual on Xiaomi's imaging software, colors can be a little oversaturated, but usually images come out nice and sharp. With the 50 megapixel mode on, you get a little bit more detail retained, however you will need some due diligence to get it to focus correctly. There is macro mode and for the most part it works fine. When it comes to night photography, night mode does a good job at brightening up the picture, but there is some noise and there's a lack of detail. Night mode is not a strong suit here. When it comes to selfies, the subject remains nice and sharp. Do excuse my photos because it was very sunny outside, so I had to hide under some shade. When it comes to portrait selfies, the bokeh effect does a good job at separating me from the background. It only eats a tiny portion of my hair, but it works. The phone packs a large 5000 mAh battery and it usually lasts an entire day. And it's 18 watts of fast charging. It will take me a little over an hour to fully charge it up from 10%. So with all that said, the Redmi 10 is actually a decent option if all you're looking for is something to do regular browsing and media consumption with. However, gaming and night photography isn't its forte, so keep that in mind. But for the price tag of 649 ringgit for the 4GB plus 64GB model and 749 ringgit for the 6GB and 128GB version, it may not be the best value for your money. One of its biggest competitors, if you can find an available stock for it, would be the Realme Narzo 30. Because priced at 799 ringgit, it offers you a better chipset in the Helio G95. It also comes with a 1080p 90Hz display. It also has faster charging at 30 watts. The downsides to having the Realme Narzo 30 is you only get a 48 megapixel main lens, but that isn't really an issue for me, and it's totally worth paying the extra 50 bucks for better performance and fast charging. If you want an AMOLED panel on your phone, you can actually go for the Redmi Note 10 at the expense of 90Hz refresh rate. Otherwise, they're pretty neck and neck, with the Redmi Note 10 offering better benchmark scores on Geekbench with the Snapdragon 678. So although the Redmi 10 is actually not a bad phone, it is a decent phone, it doesn't do anything to truly stand out from its peers that are priced similarly and have other things going for it. But at the end of the day, this is still up to you. Maybe you like how it looks and maybe that's a good enough reason for you to buy the phone, then fair enough. Well, that's it for my review of the Redmi 10. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. This is Victor signing off. Until next time, bye bye.